Give a big round of applause for Mr. Dean Donaldson. And you think that Dave Grohl is rock and roll? This is rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. Applause for Dean Donaldson.
Thank you. Well, I did ask James Cameron if I could borrow the Avatar exoskeleton, but this was the best that they could provide, unfortunately. So anyway, thank you for letting me come here today. Really pleasure to come and see you and talk to you about where I see TV moving forward over the next few years. And there's sort of lots of things that are going to change, and there's lots of things that aren't going to change. We're still going to watch X Factor. We're still going to have all the different TV shows that we're seeing to say today. But I think what is interesting as we start to look forward and think about the future of television: connected, immersive, social, and mobile. And these are massive changes that we don't underestimate when we start thinking through in terms of what it looks like. And the best way of illustrating this is when I popped around to a friend's house not so long ago, and I walked in and I'm like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" And they were like, "Yeah. We're watching TV." And I'm thinking, well, hold on a second. The TV set's switched off. But in their mind, as a consumer, they were watching TV. They didn't care whether it came from terrestrial or cable or satellite or via the internet. They didn't care what screen shape or size. They wanted their content in their language free. And that was the overall driving factor for them when they thought about, I'm watching television. And so this is a massive change. When we start to think about this whole idea of TV being on air into moving into this whole idea of online, it suddenly changes everything. We take these two opposite worlds, we crash them together, and in the process of that, it gives us data. And that data isn't just a matter of who sees, how many people have seen, what was the experience you have, but it takes us on a journey. Who saw the ad? Or did they search for it? Did they tweet about it? Did they look at it? And ultimately, where did they buy it? And so suddenly we're able to take the TV experience and move it way beyond into this world as we start working with online. So it means that we have to start thinking about internet, TV, okay. Why? Well, even if you look at the data this year, what we've seen is that PC access is declining and everything else is going up, including television. So more of us are now accessing internet via our television sets than we are on a PC. That's crazy. And so we start thinking about where this is going to go in 2020. Well, by then there'll be kind of like 5 billion of us connected to the internet. That's like the whole population of the planet was back in the late 80s. And you compare that to the number of sort of TV sets. At the same time, there'll be about 1.7 billion TV households. So if you want to watch TV in the future, en masse, mass media, it'll be via online, not via broadcast in the way that we have today. By which point 5G will have launched. Now 5G will be at 1 terabit, okay? So a satellite's about 50 megabits. Your 4G is probably about 100 maximum. You're talking about 10 times that. 65 times faster than 4G is today. That'll be hitting by 2020. In kind of basic terms, it means you'll be able to download 100 films in 3 seconds. Just think about that. 1, 2, 3, bang. 100 films via a mobile to your TV set. That's quicker than you can go and buy them in Tesco's. I mean, it's nuts, right? When you think about how fast technology is changing. They're getting bigger. Screens are getting bigger. They're getting sharper, 4K. And it's been driven by sport. sport is the predominant factor for driving television innovation in. You know, so much so that we kind of reckon that Rio should have been the last Olympics. It didn't happen. BBC couldn't get it together. It's been predicted for 2016 will be the most high-definition event. It'll be broadcast in 4K and will force the consumers to start upping their game as the TV sets become down in price. But that's not enough. Japan is already playing with 8K. So Japan has already started pushing the boundary out, and 8K TV is 16 times the quality of high definition is today. Now, when you blink, your eyes work in about 4K. When you look around the room, your eyes are basically working in 32K. 8K is where all pixels disappear on a screen in front of you. So when you're watching TV, 8K is basically what your eye can take in. And so suddenly we start moving into this kind of level in 2020. TV will just look like looking through a window for most people. Well, guess what? Japan's having the Tokyo Olympics in 2020, and they're going to broadcast in 8K. That's how fast we're changing, folks. So I think in terms of this whole idea, but most people's TV sets by 2020 will be in 4K. Okay? And I think this will be common in most homes, but it won't just be the TV set, it'll be the extra experience we overlay. So already we're starting to use LED lights with TVs to start enhancing the experience. So you can do things like take branding out of the TV set and around the room. So you can start seeing all these different things. And you can get them now with a little LED chip you stick on your TV for a few pounds. You know. So it's starting to happen. TVs are going to get bigger. Wallpaper. Right now you can buy a 205-inch TV. It probably costs about 200,000 euros, but hey, that'll come down in price. Speakers are getting thinner. Your screen will be the speaker. The TV is beginning to completely disappear. We hide cables into the walls. We chase everything away. We don't want to see the technology. We want to hide the technology away. And this is a key factor because especially when we start looking at things like transparent walls, that we can already control glass. It means that this reality of a 3D glass wall, of a transparent television, is pretty much a reality. It's already happening. The idea of touching a TV, wonderful, great. Take your iPad, let's make it the size of a wall. You know, it's starting to come. But for most people with sticky children's fingers, they don't really want it on their TV. So let's do it in a different way. Let's not touch the TV at all. Let's find different ways to interact. What does that look like from an advertising perspective? Pause. Love the dress. Let me see it in a different color. Does my bum look big in this? I mean, seriously, in the middle of your own living room. So this is a kind of interactive TV advertising we're going to start to see moving into it. It's not just the hand gestures, but eye tracking. So already we can do this with computers. Why let's not build it into the cameras on the television set where you can physically look at things. So I think what's going to happen with the web is it's not going to be www, meaning World Wide Web. It won't even be whatever, wherever, whenever. It's going to be wink, wiggle, and wave. And because this is how we're going to start to connect and interact with devices in the future. Already in China, they're working on activities where you're using telepathy. In terms of brain thought, there's a lot of games and devices now that connects with your brain signals, works out the electrical impulses, and they've got a great slogan saying, "Do you mind?" And the idea is you wear the headset and you can change the TV channel and turn the volume up just by thinking about it. Okay? It's really difficult. If you ever try it, because you want to turn around and say, you know, "Hi Siri," or Google, or whatever, you know, turn the TV up, and you can't. It has to work purely on your brain alone. Well, by 2020, Google Glasses will be seen like ridiculously far-fetched, in the past, because we'll have interactive screens with eye tracking, where you're able to sit there and actually look at information, and using the brain sensors itself, you will physically be able to type. And they reckon by 2020, we'll be able to send text messages to your friends by thought alone. Whoa. And seeing information, so using the eye tracking, it'll be like literally type, that's crazy, right? Virtual reality, already we're starting to see this now with PlayStation. So this whole idea of being able to sit there and have an immersive experience is things in terms of the headsets. So it's great, you can put it on, and they have like these ideas of these demos. Have you ever seen it of like sharks coming out of nowhere and physically attacking you, and you're like freaking out? And this is whole going to be in terms of new experiences for how we watch and engage video-based content. But hey, Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future. He turned up in the future, by the way, in about 2 days' time. Okay? In October 2015, that's where we expected to see this 3D stuff without glasses. Well, guess what? Probably about 5 years too early. We're going to have 3D without glasses by 2020. It's already being trialed right now. We can do that. Mobile projection. Some of the stuff we're going to start seeing, being able to use your mobile as a projector. Already, this is starting. I don't believe you've caught this recently, but all the newspapers have been talking about it. How you can basically take a CD case, cut it up, stick it on there, look for a clip on YouTube, and actually look at holograms on your mobile phone. Do it if you haven't done it. It's awesome. Okay? And so this is happening. So this whole idea of this avatar, 3D, walk-around, interactive, is that science fiction or a potential reality? Well, actually, if you take the same thinking about there, if you take the screen and you put the 45-degree angles on, you can remove the need for glasses. It also means that 3D means that if I look at it from this angle and my neighbor looks at it from this angle, we have different experiences, radically different to the 3D today. And so this is all going to be becoming commonplace by 2020 as well. So as much as we're all pushing 4K and 8K, completely new experiences about how to look at content. But back into today, already we're seeing a fundamental change. For me, on my television set in my home, it's not just my cable box. I have a computer because I want to watch Netflix, and I want to watch Now TV and Amazon Prime, or all the different content that's coming out, and it's not all being served through my cable box. So it forces me to have to think about how to get the content onto my TV set, because I don't want to just watch it on my iPad. And so we have to find a way of connecting 2 boxes, or maybe it's 3, maybe you've got your PlayStation as well. And maybe that set isn't just about TV content, it's about a whole range of entertainment experiences that comes into the TV set. House of Cards. I want to watch this program. The only way to watch it is you have to pay for a Netflix subscription. But the beauty of it is that they suddenly run it in 4K. One of the only programs that we can get right now in 4K. They're trying to work out, they're even internally, are we talking about TV? Are we talking about live stream? They're not even sure themselves. Because this whole industry language that we keep saying, oh, it's video, it's AV, it's broadcast, it's TV. It's just TV. Okay, from a consumer perspective. Then, the most watched television program on the world, Top Gear. And what have they just done? Moved to Amazon, what? If a fraction of the 1 billion people who watch Top Gear, who now want to watch Top Gear in its true form, sign up to Amazon Prime, I've now not just got my cable subscription, I now need my Netflix subscription for House of Cards. I now need an Amazon Prime subscription to watch Top Gear. And then we suddenly realize that brand advertisers have started to create their own content. And then you want to watch the Audi channel, the Pink TV, or whatever channel it is. I mean, already they said last year that YouTube, 4 out of 10 videos watched were actually brand advertiser content. The stuff that we saw amazing ago, the always, creative content there, fantastic. Well, Manchester United Television decided that they could make more money by going it alone, and all the people that they work with on Sky, they bought. So now Manchester United TV has 60 people working in their television department. And so suddenly now, if you're a Manchester United fan and you want to watch that Manchester United content, I can't just go to my cable and have a sports package. I now have to buy my Manchester United TV channel on top. So now I've got my cable package and my Netflix package and your Amazon Prime and your MUTV and it's not going to stop. Houston, we got a problem, like a big problem. This whole idea of ownership is outdated already. For the majority of people, we're looking for stuff free, easy, convenient, online. What makes people assume that the consumer of the future is going to be happy to pay for more and more individual channels when the music industry has gone the opposite way round? So what's happened is right now in America, this last week, something fundamental has happened. A mobile phone operator has said, you know what? Forget your cable subscription. If you buy a mobile phone for us, we'll give you all your television, all the television you could want, for free. Now let that sink in a second. Why do I need to pay for a cable subscription if I now have a mobile operator who's bundling TV? That's a massive change. And we haven't even seen what's going to go with there and where it's going to fall out. No wonder people like Sky are saying, well, we're losing money. They can't sustain it, or they couldn't, until they suddenly realize that actually, do you know what? We need to let people have an own app, and if you're a different subscriber or whatever else, people will buy an app and watch it wherever they want to watch it. And so suddenly what they've done is they've allowed everything to explode, just like music did. So as a result of it, they've turned around and said, we're going to control the distribution. We don't want there to be some kind of Napster for television. We're going to find a way of controlling it. If you want to watch TV on a mobile, you can, but you need to pay us. And so this is where that started to happen. Now, for me, that was important because I wanted to watch Game of Thrones. I don't have a Sky subscription. The only way for me in the UK to watch Game of Thrones is through Sky. So what I wanted to do was to pay for a subscription just for that last month or couple of months to watch Game of Thrones on there. And it wasn't just me. So many people did, and as a result, their profits started to come back up again. New business models. Because we were finding ways of watching Game of Thrones in new different ways, whether it was on the computer or, in my case, the computer linked to the TV. But what was interesting from a measurement perspective is they said, look, pay television is still television. You're watching it at the same time, regardless of the device. And so suddenly, they weren't considering that this is TV and this was digital television or this was video or AV or online or whatever. They said it's television. So not only has the consumer shifted, the broadcasters are beginning to shift in their mentality. It's bundled as TV. And it doesn't matter whether it's served out through terrestrial or satellite or cable or online. It's just TV. And this is going to be changing as we move out, especially as we start thinking about the game of screens, where now suddenly it's watching a program however you want to watch it, on whatever device you want to watch it, on whatever device we can watch it in 2020. But really, for me, it opens up another question. Targeting. If you want to be able to target people and advertising, we have to start knowing of the multitude of devices that they're playing with. You see, yeah, great. We can put an internet connection to a TV and give me a really awful interface. Thanks for that, Samsung. Thanks for that, Sky, Apple. Because when I want to look for information, I want to say Game of Thrones, I have to go G, A, M, F, E. Yeah? How ridiculous. And this is the problem. And yet it's a smart TV. Whereas the reality from a consumer's perspective is you're watching TV in the lounge. And then meanwhile, somebody else is sitting there watching another program on their iPad, and then somebody else is watching a completely different program on their phone, and suddenly everyone's in different rooms doing different stuff. And then what happens when the ad break comes on? You should be able to serve different adverts to different people in different devices. And so to me, if you want to start understanding the future, we have to forget this idea of being able to target households. It's individuals. And this is going to be a radical shift in 2020 where we buy, serve, programmatic television. All of those things will come out of that. But it's about targeting individuals to a device around TV content. Already in the States, they're talking about 8-channel boxes to sort this problem out. You can have 8 different TV shows running at the same time. It doesn't matter whether you're in the house, out of the house, what device you're watching it. It's all being controlled from your cable box. So you don't just have to watch it on TV, you can watch it on your iPad or your phone or whatever else. 8 channels at the same time, which is amazing. And then we start thinking about Apple TV, Roku, and Google Chromecast. Well, right now they're putting hard drives back in again. The idea of being able to do a native search for content. Show me films with Clint Eastwood in. Show me stuff about car chases. And suddenly we find new ways of searching for content. It's not only that, but the idea of you can now sit there and play games within the same device. That cable box and that games console are suddenly starting to crash together. But as you sort of think about 2020 TV, what would Apple TV look like in there? Assuming they don't physically launch a television set. Well, then you're going to be able to natively search for content specifically. Who said this quote? Bang. It suddenly comes up with that segment and lets me play that content straight away. The way we search for web pages today, where's this product hidden in the web? This far down the page. This is how we're going to search for video content. You know, find me this actor, who said what, where did he say it, find that information. It'll work out the segment that's within. You can expand it for context. You can share it with your friends on Facebook or wherever else. So searching for TV video content will be radically different. It also means that we're going to have things like aggregated subscription. I don't want to pay for Netflix and Now TV and da-da-da, and da-da-da-da-da. And exactly the same what's happened with Apple with music industry is pay us 10 quid a month, listen to anything. It's inevitable it's going to happen for TV. Pay somebody a subscription a month and watch everything. It doesn't matter whether you want to watch French or Dutch or German or Thai or English television channels, they'll all be there in a central place, because if I want to be able to search for content, I have to be able to have access to all the information to make that work. And consumers are going to expect that to work. That's a radical shift, because that's what cable companies are very clever at right now. They aggregate content and make you pay for certain packages. Well, Apple wants to take that another level up, and they will. It's just a matter of time. Sky will have to react, so we'll find that suddenly those cable boxes, they'll be giving away free 8K TVs by then to try and get you to come and play with their subscriptions. They'll also give us different stuff as well. They'll be able to turn around and say, look, you'll be able to control your home from your cable box. What time's can you have it so that the hot water runs, and not only does it record my TV channel, but can you run a bath at the same time and turn the heating on? You want to be able to sit there at that point and turn around and say, we'll have the pay-as-you-view. So you'll be able to sit there and say, I want to watch that football game or Game of Thrones, Top Gear, and you'll just be able to pay for that show in the same way as we buy an app right now. And so this is going to be a radical thing in terms of how cable companies are going to change. But it's beyond online. I talked about social. Social, huge amount of video is now being uploaded in social. I mean, we're seeing By the time I speak a sentence, 24 hours of video has just been uploaded to YouTube today. That's how fast it's checking and changing. But I think when you look at something like Facebook and the power of video for social change, especially this last year in America with the whole thing of getting everybody behind this gay rights situation. I mean, it's caused a worldwide phenomenon of social change. That's not only the power of video, but it's the power of video as a distribution platform through a social media channel. And so to me, we can look at the technology of, well, where does video now appear? In your car, maybe on your fridge. And as we start to move new screens around, video content will very quickly follow. But for me, it's not just about that whole thing. If you look at what's going on with Facebook, is they are absolutely posed right now to become a new TV station. Why do I say that? Think about it. You're on Facebook, you're looking at video. You flick over it now, and you're going to sit there, and you're going to be able to sit there, and you're watching a video content, you're being exposed to stuff, you flick it through in terms of something else, and then you're watching another piece of video.
Message for her. Now,
great, I can get excited by the gadgets, transparent phones, which I can't wait for, and all that kind of thing. But to me, there's a more fundamental thing happening. If Facebook is auto-playing video, selecting video, recommending video through my friends, and what do we do the first time you look at it? I find something on YouTube and I upload it to Facebook and share from Facebook. And that's where I become a TV producer or a TV aggregator or a TV broadcaster and saying, guys, you need to watch this. Stop what you're doing, watch this. Facebook is a TV channel, and by 2020, YouTube will have a huge fight on its hands because more video will be watched, consumed, shared, uploaded via Facebook than they will on YouTube. And so to me, when I talk to TV marketers and who are concerned about YouTube, I said, you don't need to be concerned about YouTube as much as you need to be concerned about Facebook, because that's going to be a radical shift by that point. And probably they'll also then launch long-form content. You'll be able to sit there and watch your movies through Facebook. There will be no stopping as to what the potential opportunities move into. And so we start just coming back in, and to summarize, I think we just need to sort of look at this whole idea. Yes, there are two-way communication devices. Yes, we're starting to see it. It doesn't really matter whether it's audio or visual or Shazam or Bluetooth. We'll figure that one out, okay, as it moves forward. But to me, it's more about the content. Already we're seeing interactive game shows, vote for this, play along with that, what do you recommend? It's going to be becoming much more integrated. It'll be working around shows like game shows and some sports shows. Narrative storytelling. What should he do? Should he go in? Should he not go in? What do you think is going to happen? And we'll be involved with the storytelling. And I think this is going to start changing a narrative of stuff as we move out into the 20s. So in terms of just sort of understanding this whole portion of advertising, the whole idea of seeing a screen and moving over there is not enough for me as an advertiser. I need to think how it moves in. People move across devices. Maybe as they move back to TV. Maybe as they go and buy, and where and how do they buy? Maybe it's via their watch. And so it's really, if we think about television, I have to think about that entire ecosystem. Because the whole point of putting an advert on TV is to sell stuff. And I want to know that if I spend money over there, did somebody buy? And then, can you tell me how, where, and when? And I think as we start to close the loops together, we'll be able to genuinely answer those questions. We'll be able to see people who walk into a supermarket, and what do? They're checking stuff out. Is it cheaper next door? Is it cheaper online? 88% of people are doing that now. I think loyalty programs will become a key part of this. I think those loyalty programs will be then linked into beacons, so when you walk into a store, those little beacons around the place will flash you and say, hey, you know that thing you're looking for? It's on special offer. And then as you move out from there and you start moving back into a store, you go, love the handbag. Add to the wish list. You know, oh yeah, I need some of that. Yeah, can you add that to my shopping basket? And it'll just be happening as a natural consumer extended experience. And you'll have all this information about what you want, when you want to buy it, and where. But then I think the interesting thing is this will start to broadcast information out. It's a personal thing. And it's going to happen is when you're sitting there happening to watch TV. You might be watching a movie.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
Oh, don't the ad breaks always happen at the wrong moment? But there you are, you're sitting there and you're watching the TV, the ads are coming on, you're thinking, oh, here we go, whatever else. But suddenly now your watch is going to be listening in. And you're going to be able to do stuff. And it's going to say, hey, you know that thing you were looking for? You're like, oh, it's random. It happens to be on TV. Except we've just changed the TV advertising because I knew you were looking for it. And that TV advertising, which we're now going to start programmatically buying and targeting and et cetera, will be appearing on your TV or your iPad or whatever else. You'll be able to sit there and pay for it and make a sale, and we'll be able to watch and track that entire consumer journey. And why is that so important? Because already here in Belgium, 26% of e-commerce transactions are happening via a mobile. And so it's not unrealistic to think about the change of television, the change of data, the change not only of distribution, but as a brand advertiser, being able to monitor and understand the consumer journey and to know the effectiveness of TV truly, once and for all, measured by how many sales are happening. And so I think this is going to be a hugely exciting opportunity. But just remember that it ain't going to stop there either. We're just going to carry on and carry on and carry on. But for the moment, that's the end. Thank you very much.